Good morning, sir. Today we are going to discuss the most important clause of the MOA, that is objective clause of Memorandum of Association of the company. Which clause, beta? Objective clause. Among the all the clauses, this clause is very important. So first of all, let us try to understand what is the meaning of objective clause, sir. Objective clause. First of all, let us understand the purpose of the section, interpretation of the section, or why the section is, the purpose of the section, why the section is drafted. Let us try to understand the intention of the lawmakers to keep this section in the object, to keep this section in the MOA of the company or the company act itself. Why the objective clause is drafted? The main purpose of this clause is, the main intention of the lawmakers is to define the powers of the company. To define the powers of the company. So company has the power to do only those things which are specified in the objective clause of MOA of the company. For example, objective clause of the Woodland manufacturing of the footwear. Woodland should not manufacture or should not develop software. Woodland should not develop the lorry or car. Tata Motors is there, sir. The objective of Tata Motors is manufacturing of the cars only, but not any other thing. So the main purpose of this clause is to define the powers of the company. The main objective of this clause, the main purpose of this clause is to define what company can do, what company cannot do. What company can do defined by the objective clause, what company cannot do defined by the objective clause itself. Company can do only those things which are specified in the objective clause. Company cannot do those things which are not specified in the objective clause of MOA of the company. That is the purpose of the section. If any director of the company proposing to do something which is not there in the objective clause, that will be ultra vires the MOA and void ab initio. That is not a transaction at all on behalf of the company. That's why this clause is prepaid, Let us try to enter into the section, what will be in the objective clause. Explanation of the clause, explanation of the section. Section 4 subsection 1 clause C defines what is objective clause. What will be there in the objective clause, It contains the objectives to be achieved by company. It contains objectives to be achieved by company upon its incorporation. It explains what company should do after formation. For example, Ranbaxy should manufacture only medicines. Dr. Reddy's should manufacture only medicines. Dr. Reddy's should not manufacture the car or lorry. Ashok Leyland, they should manufacture only lorries or DCMs, but not the software, but not the medicines. It contains the objectives to be achieved by company upon the incorporation. The objective of Ashok Leyland is manufacturing of the cars. That's why the company is created. So it contains the objectives to be achieved by company upon its incorporation, and it contains the powers. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company, which can be exercised by company to achieve the objective specified, to achieve the objectives specified. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company to achieve the objectives specified. This will be there in the objective clause anta. It contains the objectives to be achieved by company upon incorporation beta. है ना बेटा? Asian Paints. The objective of Asian Paints is to development of the different types of colors and to manufacture the colors. Which powers the company can exercise is defined in the objective clause of the company. This clause informs to shareholders and creditors how their money will be utilized. How their money will be utilized. है ना बेटा? Enforces set shareholders, creditors, my dear shareholders, my dear lenders, if you give the money, with your money I will develop software, I will sell software, I will make the profit, I will give it back to you. That's what who said beta? Infosys said. So what Ashok Leyland said, sir, if you give the money, with your money I will manufacture the lorry, I will manufacture the DCM, I will manufacture the vehicles, I will sell it, I will make the profit, I will repay you and I will give you as a dividend. है ना बेटा? This is what the company's objective clause specifies. It explains how money will be utilized, ఏం చేస్తే మీ డబ్బులతోటి, how money will be utilized and the risk they are taking, by investing in the company. And it informs to outsiders, whether proposed contract is intra-virus or ultra-virus. है ना बेटा? This informs to outsiders if anybody want to enter into contract with the company. First is the objective clause. है ना बेटा? If company enters into any contract with any person, if it is within the objective clause, if it is intra-virus, then that will be perfectly valid. That will be perfectly valid contract. If the company enters into any contract which is not specified in the objective clause, that will be perfectly void ab initio. है ना बेटा? Company will not be responsible. है ना बेटा? You may get the loss also being outsider. You are innocent. That's why before entering into agreement, see the objective clause. है ना बेटा? If that agreement is, if such kind of contract is specified in the objective clause, then only company can enter. Otherwise company cannot enter that kind of the agreement. है ना बेटा? That will die as an agreement only. It will not mature as a contract if it is not specified in the objective clause of MOA. है ना बेटा? This is what objective clause explains beta. So this clause contains the objectives to be achieved by company upon its incorporation. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company to achieve the objectives specified. It informs to shareholders and creditors how the money will be utilized and the risk they are taking by investing in the company. It is also informs to outsiders who proposes to enter into contract with the company. Such a proposed contract, intended contract, is within the power of the company or beyond the power of the company, valid or void, intra-virus or the ultra-virus. है ना बेटा? This is what explained by the objective clause बेटा. This objective clause developed a doctrine called doctrine of ultra-virus. Doctrine of ultra-virus. है ना बेटा? Doctrine of ultra-virus. This was developed in the year 1855, sir. है ना? First of all, what is the meaning of doctrine, sir? What is the meaning of the doctrine? Doctrine means theorem. Doctrine means theorem. In Telugu, it is called as Siddhantam. In English, it is called as theorem. Pythagoras theorem. है ना बेटा? Like that. Newton's theorem. So, doctrine means theorem. Ultra means beyond. Antaku minchi. Ultra means beyond. VIRUS means coronavirus. RUS. VIRES means power. So, ultra means beyond, virus means power. So doctrine of ultra virus is nothing but theory of beyond the powers. of the company. Theory of beyond the power of the company. So if company does something beyond its powers, that is said to be ultra virus activity. For example, beta, myself SG Srinath Gupta, so I should teach only law and auditing. If I am teaching law or audit, I have such power, that is intra virus, है ना. Even I know accountancy beta, even I know costing and tax, है ना बेटा. If I am teaching costing, that is beyond my power, that is ultra virus, है ना बेटा, because I was not authorized to teach costing or tax or accountancy. I am authorized to teach only law and audit. If I am teaching law and auditing, then I will be responsible, that is intra virus. I have such power. I should not teach costing, that is ultra virus, beyond my power, है ना बेटा. So this doctrine was developed in the year 1855. Beta, these doctrines, these provisions of the Companies Act, sir, 90% of the Companies Act will remain same all over the world. Subtechnical entity is there. It is not only for India, sir, for the worldwide. है ना बेटा. So we have seen the case laws also, but Salman versus Salman Company Limited. It is a not Indian case law, it's a foreign case law, है ना बेटा. So 80% to 90% of the Companies Act will remain same all over the world, है ना बेटा. So this was developed not only in India but worldwide in the year 1855. Before the year 1855, the company was there in India but in the form of enlarged partnership form. How the companies was there before 1855? Before 1855, the companies was there in the form of enlarged partnership firm. If it is an enlarged partnership firm, the liability of the partners is unlimited. Before 1855, companies are there in the form of the big partnership firms, in the form of enlarged partnership firm, where the liability of the partner is unlimited. For example, sir, before the year 1855, example, Dhirubhai Ambani came to me. He was asking me, Srinath Gupta, do you have 10 rupees? Yes, my dear Dhirubhai, yes, I have 10 rupees. Then Dhirubhai is asking me, Srinath, will you give me 10 rupees? Yes, sir. Dhirubhai, sir, I will give you 10 rupees. I will give you 10 rupees, but what you will do with my money? Because you may spend my money on the horse races, very risky, है ना बेटा. You may spend my money on the share market, very risky, है ना बेटा. You may spend my money somewhere, some other business, very risky. First tell me what you will do with my money. If I like your purpose, I will give the money. Then Dhirubhai said, Srinath sir, I will use your money for manufacturing of the textiles, for manufacturing of the cloth. I like the purpose, good purpose, because everyone need the cloth by birth till the death. Baby పుట్టగానే డ్రెస్ వేయాలి బేబీకి, చచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా మళ్ళీ చచ్చినాక కూడా ఆ పాడ మీద డ్రెస్ వేస్తారు సార్. సో వీ నీడ్ ద డ్రెస్, వీ నీడ్ ద క్లాత్ from the birth till the death of the person. And everyone, he may be poor, he may be rich, he may be aged, he may be young, he may be a kid, he may be every person has to use the cloth. So I feel it's a good business. Then but I gave the money to Dhirubhai Ambani because I like his purpose, I like his objective. But I give the money not on the person's name. I'm giving the money person's objective, because person will change. Today Dhirubhai Ambani may be good boy, tomorrow he may become bad boy. Manish అనేవాడు మంచోడు కాదు సార్. He will change. Human being will change, but objective it will not change. That's why I give the money to Dhirubhai Ambani, not seeing his name. I have given the money by seeing his purpose, objective. So Dhirubhai taken the money, he's investing in the Reliance, For example, Dhirubhai said to me, Srinath sir, with your money I will purchase the cloth, I will manufacture the cloth, I will sell the cloth, I will make the profit, I will repay you 10 rupees and I will pay the dividend also if you want. But Dhirubhai Ambani using the money not for the cloth, sir, some other business. He said to me, Srinath sir, with your money I will purchase the cloth, I will sell the cloth, I will make the profit. But Dhirubhai Ambani using such money for manufacturing of the liquor. है ना बेटा, manufacturing of the liquor, manufacturing of the cars, manufacturing of some other things, है ना. What he said to me, I will use the money for the cloth only, but he is using for some other purpose. Still I never care, because when this was happened beta, this was happened before the year 1855. Already I said at the beginning of the example, Dhirubhai came to me before the year 1855. Before the year 1855, even Dhirubhai Ambani is using the money for some other purpose. I never care, because if company is unable to repay my money, who will repay? Members of the company will repay, because before the year 1855 the companies are in the form of big partnership firms where the members liability is unlimited. I gave the money to company, who has to repay? Company has to repay. If company is unable to repay, members will repay, because the liability is unlimited, है ना बेटा. But for the first time in the year 1855 the concept of limited liability is introduced. Limited liability is introduced worldwide, है ना बेटा. Then I feel unsecure, है ना. So for example, but same example, after 1855 Dhirubhai Ambani came to me, then was asking, Srinath sir, do you have 10 rupees? Yes sir. Dhirubhai sir, yes I have 10 rupees. Then was asking, what you will do with my 10 rupees? He said, Srinath sir, I will purchase the cloth, I will sell the cloth, I make the profit, I will give the interest, I repay the 10 rupees also. So I like the purpose of the Dhirubhai Ambani's company Reliance, I gave the money, है ना बेटा. If Dhirubhai Ambani is using the money for some other purpose, company may get the loss, है ना बेटा. If company is unable to pay, who will pay? Who has to pay beta? Members. But the members liability is maximum to the extent of unpaid amount on the face value of the share. That means I give the money to company by seeing the objective, but the company is using the money for some other objective. Company is unable to pay the money back to me, and members will not pay, because members liability is limited. Members liability is limited to the extent of unpaid amount on the face value of the share. Then I said, Dhirubhai Ambani sir, I gave the money not by seeing you, I gave the money by seeing your objective. I am sure if you use my money for that purpose only, cloth purpose only, company will not get the loss, I will not get the loss, because you will repay for sure. So you should use the money only for the specified purpose, that is cloth business only. Don't use for any other purpose, because if you use the money for some other purpose, I am not sure about that business. Company may get the loss. If the company gets lost, no, ultimately I will get the loser. I am the loser, because company will not repay my money, and your members will not repay, because the liability is limited. That's why I said, being a outsider, being a lender, utilize the money only for the objectives specified. If you use the money for some other purpose, no, that is beyond the power of the company. That is beyond the power of the company. And ultra virus, you will be personally liable. I will make you personally liable if you use the money for the some other purpose. है ना बेटा? है ना? This is the concept of limited liability, unlimited liability, which was introduced in the 1855. So as per the doctrine of ultra virus, the directors of the company, promoters of the company utilize the money of the shareholders and creditors only for the objectives specified in the MOA. They should not use the money for any other purpose. For example, but in the last example, I gave the money to Reliance. Reliance said, my objective is cloth, है ना बेटा, purchase the cloth, sell the cloth. So if Reliance is using the money for the cloth business only, that is intra-virus, who is liable to repay to me? Company is liable beta. If company is unable to pay, I will bear the loss. If you using the business for some other business, for manufacturing of the cars or something, beta, that is ultra virus. If company is unable to repay the money, no, we will lift the bill, and promoters are personally liable, directors are personally liable, beta, because company should not use such money for other purpose. Company means company's directors, because company has no hands to use the money, no, beta. Who will use the money on behalf of the company? Directors of the company. So let us enter into the famous case la beta. Based on this doctrine of ultra virus, there was a famous case la is there beta. The name of the case law is Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited. Remember the case law name as it is. Don't create the case law names. This case law is very important. Ashbury Railway Carriage and Iron Company Limited वर्सेस रिची है ना बेटा. एशबरी रेलवे कैरेज आयरन कंपनी लिमिटेड वर्सेस रिची है ना बेटा. लेट अस सी दिस फैक्ट्स ऑफ द केस very important बेटा. लिसन इट लाइक ए स्टोरी बेटा. So what was happened in this case law? Ashbury Railway Iron Company Limited versus Ritchie. Once upon a time, there is a city called Belgium. There is a city called Belgium. అనగా ఒక ఊరు. ఆ ఊరి పేరు ఏం పేరు? సిటీ. ఊరు కూడా కాదు, పట్నం. సో నగరం. సో ఆ నగరం పేరు ఏం పేరు? బెల్జియం. So once upon a time there is a city called Belgium. In Belgium so many people are there, sir, but we want only 2 guys. है ना बेटा. One guy is Ashbury. Which Bury बेटा? Ashbury Railway Carriage Company Limited. है ना बेटा. Ashbury है ना बेटा. Ashbury company है ना, is an artificial person. Ashbury is an artificial person. In the city one more lady is there. है ना बेटा. ఒక అక్క ఉంది. అక్క పేరు ఏం పేరు అంటే రిచి. అక్క పేరు ఏం పేరు అన్న? రిచి. రిచి ఈజ్ రిచ్ లేడీ. సో ఇన్ యాష్బరీ దెర్ వాజ్ ఎ బ్యూటిఫుల్ లేడీ. హెర్ నేమ్ ఈజ్ రిచి. రిచ్ ఈజ్ లైక్ ఎ రిచ్ లేడీ. క్లియర్ బేటా? సో యాష్బరీ ఈజ్ దేర్, రిచి ఈజ్ దేర్. है ना बेटा. if you go to villages beta, everyone has a family business. For example, goldsmith is there. He must do only gold related business. That is the family business. The objective of their family is to deal only gold. है ना. Carpenter will be there. So the family objective is only wood business. He should not do some other business beta. है ना. For example beta, carpenter will be there. Pandits will be there. They should perform only, they should only worship the Bhagavan. है ना. They should perform only puja. है ना बेटा. Like that, every pot makers will be there. They should only make the pots and other kind of that kind of things. है ना बेटा. They should not do any other business. है ना बेटा. बेटा, can the goldsmith do the wood business beta? No. People in the village will beat that goldsmith if you keep your finger in others business. Don't keep your finger in others business. That is ultra virus. For example, Chintu is there beta. Chintu is a goldsmith. Chintu is buying and selling and making the ornaments. Chintu is buying, making, selling the ornaments. That is intra virus the family business valid. If Chintu is trying to keep his finger in the wood business, that is ultra virus the family business. People in the village will beat him because that is నీ బిజినెస్ కాదు. పక్కోని బిజినెస్లో ఏలు పెట్టొద్దు. ఏనా కొడతారా ఊళ్ళల్లో కొడతారు సార్, బికాజ్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఫ్యామిలీ బిజినెస్. ఏనా. సో in villages so many family businesses will be there beta, like goldsmith, carpenter, painter, है ना बेटा, pot makers, like that. So many family businesses will be there beta. Our Ashbury family businesses, they are the blacksmiths. They are the blacksmiths, है ना बेटा. So Ashbury father, grandfather and all these guys are the blacksmith. Who is a blacksmith, sir? Who deal in the iron work, welding iron. But they purchase the iron, they sell the iron. So ఏమంటారంటే వీళ్ళను కమ్మరోళ్ళు అంటారు సార్ తెలుగులో. కమ్మరి. ఇన్ తెలుగు దట్ caste name is called as కమ్మరి. In English is called as a blacksmith. Our Ashbury also blacksmith. ఏ స్మిత్ బేటా? blacksmith. है ना बेटा. Who make the iron related work. है ना. What is the objective of the Ashbury? Objective of Ashbury is mechanical engineering and general contracts. Mechanical engineering and general contracts. It is the objective of the Ashbury. Sir, what does it mean, sir? Then I was asking Ashbarri, your objective is mechanical engineering and general contracts. What does it mean? Huh? So I was unable to understand what is the meaning of mechanical engineering and general contract. So can you explain me your objective clearly? Yes. Ashbarri said, sir, I will explain you. Mechanical engineering and general contracts means I will lay the track. I will lay the track. Which track beta? Railway track. You know? I will lay the railway track. In between wood, these are the wood beta. This one. Wood rod, wood will be there in between. So I will supply the iron. I will lay the track. I will supply the wood. I will supply the pebbles. In between pebbles will be there beta. Kankaralu ante madhyala. I will supply the pebbles. I will supply the labor. I will supply the iron rods, and I will supply the pebbles also, and I will make the wagons. Sir, what is wagons? Wagons means these things, sir. So that boxes will be there, but railway boxes. These are the railway wagons. है ना बेटा? Railway wheels, है ना? So these are the lights. These are the lights. Okay. So the smoke. Once upon a time, we don't have that kind of electrical trains, no beta. So this is the business of the Ashbarri. What is the business of the Ashbarri? Mechanical engineering and general contracts, which means laying of the track, supplying of the labor, supplying of the wood, supplying of the wagons, all these things. This is the business of the Ashbarri. Fine beta. Yeah? In that Belgium, one akka is there. Akka name is Richie. है ना बेटा? Richie is a rich lady. A lady ना rich lady. So cycle is coming to Richie's place. Luna is coming to Richie's place. Scooter is coming to Richie's place. Bike is coming. Auto is coming. Car is coming. Bus is coming. Lorry also coming beta. Even flight is coming. Aeropad is there on in her apartment. Even that aeroplanes also coming. But one vehicle is not coming. That is lorry. That is rail. Train is not coming. Train cannot come to her home. One fine day, she was having a dream. If train come to my home, no beta, happily I can go to shopping in train. है beta. సందులు సబ్బులు ముఖం కడుక్కొని పాండ్స్ పౌడర్ వేసుకొని ఫెరెన్ లవ్లీ పెట్టుకొని మంచిగా ఐటెక్స్ బొట్టు పెట్టుకొని మల్లెపూలు పెట్టుకొని సాయంత్రం పూట సంకల బ్యాగ్ వేసుకొని షాపింగ్ పోతే ఎంత మంచిగా ఉంటుంది, సూపర్ ఉంటుంది. దట్ టు ఇన్ ద ట్రైన్. ఏనా బేటా, షీ వాంట్ టు గో టు షాపింగ్ in the train from her home itself. Then one fine day she made a call to Ashbarri. Then Ashbarri said, tell me sister, cheppakka em gavalakka. Then Richie said to Ashbarri, brother Ashbarri, will you lay the track, railway track to my home? Then Ashbarri said, why not akka? If you give the money not only to your home, for your neighbor's home also I will lay the track, but I want the money. మీ ఇంటికి ఎందుకు అక్క, మీ పక్కింటికి కూడా వేస్తా పైసలు ఇస్తే. దట్స్ వాట్ Ashbarri said. Not only for your home, for your neighbor's home also I will lay the track if you give the money. Fine. Then Richie said, okay brother, how much you want? సరే తమ్ముడు, మనకి ఎంత కావాలి? Ashbarri said, है ना बेटा, अक्का, it will cost 10,000 pounds. How much बेटा? For example, 10,000 pounds. If you give 10,000 pounds, I will lay the track to your home. है ना बेटा? Then akka was checking for the money. है ना बेटा? ఇంట్లో నన్ను పాత ప్యాంట్లు, పాత జేబులు, है ना बेटा? పాత ప్యాంట్లు, పాత షర్ట్లు, పంది బొమ్మ, కిడ్డీ బాక్స్. She was searching everywhere बेटा. She can able to find only 1,000 rupees, 1,000 pounds. Then akka made a call to Ashbarri, brother Ashbarri, thoda kam pad raha, paisa kam pad raha, only 1,000 is there, so I need 9 more thousand rupees. है बेटा, కొంచెం తక్కువ పడుతున్నాయి తమ్ముడు, 1000 రూపాయలు ఉన్నాయి, 9,000 తక్కువ ఉన్నాయి. Then Ashbarri said, అక్క యూ కీప్ 1000 రూపీస్ ఆల్సో విత్ యూ, ఆ 1000 కూడా నువ్వే పెట్టుకో. ఏనా బేటా, ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ ద లోన్, ఐ విల్ గివ్ యూ లోన్ అండ్ ఐ విల్ లే ద ట్రాక్ ఆల్సో. Richie said, such a sweet brother, thanks a lot for giving the loan also, and how much interest you want? Ashbury said, I want 3% interest. Akka also said, okay brother, okay, give me 10,000 rupees loan and lay the track also. I will repay the principal and also interest also. I will repay the principal, I will pay interest also. So Ashbury is happy, Rich is happy. Here Ashbury is entering into 2 agreements with Richie beta. One is lending of 10,000 rupees, that is financing. Other one is laying of the railway track. Beta, what is the objective of the Ashbury beta? Mechanical engineering and general contracts, but not the financing. Financing is like a software, tracking is like a hardware, beta. But company entered. Giving the finance to Richie is ultra virus, beyond the power of the company. Laying of the track is intra virus the company. Beta, till now clear everyone? So Ashbury entered into 2 contracts with Richie. One is financing, other one is laying of the track. Financing is beyond the power of the company, laying of the track is intra virus the company. Clear? Subsequently, one fine day, Ashbury company conducted the annual general meeting. Annual general meeting, that is meeting of the shareholders. So all the shareholders came to company beta. All the shareholders came to company AGM, because food free కదా బేటా AGMలో. ఫుడ్ కోసం అన్నా మనం పోతాం పక్క. చికెన్ ముక్కలు దొరుకుతాయి కదా మంచిగా. సో ఆల్ ద shareholders went to annual general meeting of the company. In the AGM, Ashbury said to shareholders, hi shareholders, good morning. Shareholders said, good morning company, Ashbury company. Then company was asking, hi, how are you? We are good. How are you company? Even I am good. Then Ashbury said to shareholders, hey shareholders, I did something with your money. I did something with your money. The members were asking, yes, what you have done with my money? Ashbury said to shareholders, you gave the money to me for development of the track for the iron business, but with your money I entered into an agreement with Richie for financing, interest 3 rupees. Is it okay for you? This is what company said to shareholders. Shareholders said, super, 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 you are so person. We gave the money to you for making the iron business, but you are giving for financing also. Super. So all the shareholders agreed for the financing, the money to Richie, even it is ultra virus. Happy. So Ashbury entered into agreement with Richie for financing. This financing agreement was ratified by the whole body of the shareholders, agreed by the whole body of the shareholders. So shareholders went to their home and company came to its office. Fine. Then Richie made a phone to Ashbury. Brother Ashbury, what happened? You said you said to give the money. So when you are going to give the money? Then Ashbury said, Akka, just now I am starting from the office. So within 1 hour I will come to your home. I will give you 10,000 rupees money to you, interest 3%. Let us entering into contract also. Richie said, okay, I will be waiting for you. So come. Then one fine day, Ashbury going to Richie's place. Ashbury company is going to Richie's place by holding briefcase. Do you know what is in this briefcase? This is briefcase beta. So do you know what is in this box beta? 10,000 pounds are there. So company was going to Ashbury's place, like that on the main road. In the middle of the road, I found the Ashbury company. Then I said to him, hey Ashbury, where are you going? Then Ashbury said, Srinivas sir, I am going to Richie's place. I am going to Richie's place. I entered into agreement with Richie for financing. I am going to Richie's place. I am going to Richie's place for giving the money to Richie. This is what Ashbury said to me. I was asking again, hey Ashbury, where are you going? Richie's place. Why? Ashbari said, Srinath sir, I entered into agreement with Richie for financing, so I'm going to Richie's place to give the money. Then I said, then I said to Ashbari, Ashbari, Richie Akka has having only incoming option, no outgoing option. If you give the money to Richie, no, Pakka she will not repay. If you go to Richie's place for the repayment of the money, no, but if you ask the repayment, no, क्या करता कर लो बोलता, ఏం చేసుకుంటావు చేసుకో పైసలు ఇయ్యా అంటది. నీ ఇష్టం, ఇప్పుడే చెప్తున్నా, అయ్యక ముందే చెప్తున్నా డబ్బులు. బిఫోర్ గివింగ్ ద మనీ ఓన్లీ ఐమ్ టెల్లింగ్ యూ, ఇఫ్ యూ గివ్ ద మనీ టు రిచ్, పక్కా షీ విల్ నాట్ మేక్ ద రీపేమెంట్. है बेटा, that is up to you. If you ask the repayment, no, she will say like, what do you want to do, you can do, I don't want to give the money. That's how she will argue. That is up to you. Ashbari, then Ashbari company डर गया, है ना बेटा. Then Ashbari company has taken a U-turn, है ना बेटा. Then she went to her home, she went to her office, sorry, he went to her office. Ashbari went to her office and Ashbari made a call to Richie. Richie's sister, Akka, I am not going to give you finance. If you give the money, I will lay the track. The main purpose of agreement between you and me is laying the track to your home. Na? If you give the money, I will lay the track, but I am not going to give you any finance. This is what Richie said to Ashbari said to Richie. Then Richie is getting angry like anything. Then Richie filed a case on the Ashbari. Richie filed a case on the Ashbari. है ना बेटा. Then, for example, I am the judge uncle over there. For example, Srinath Gupta is a judge. Then I was asking Richie, what happened? Why you filed a case on the Ashbari? Richie said that, Srinath sir, Ashbari entered into agreement with me for financing. For the financing. So as per the agreement, Richie has to give the loan and I have to give the 3% interest. I am ready to give the interest, but Ashbari made the breach of contract. Ashbari made the breach of the contract. As per the agreement, he has to give the money, but he is not giving now. So ask the Ashbari to give my money. Then I was asking Ashbari, hey Ashbari, what happened? You entered into agreement with Richie for financing. Now, why you are not giving the finance? Ashbari said, Judge uncle, my name is Ashbari Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited. My objective is mechanical engineering and general contracts. So financing is beyond my power. Financing is beyond my power. Financing is ultra virus. है ना बेटा? Financing is ultra virus. So that is not a contract, Judge uncle. That is just a agreement, void ab initio agreement. So the agreement between me and Richie will not mature as a contract. It is not enforceable because that is beyond my powers. That is void ab initio. So I am not responsible to give the finance. What is the argument of Richie? Richie argues that Ashbari agrees to give the money, so he has to give the money. He made a breach of contract. But what is the argument of Ashbari? Ashbari argues that financing is beyond my power. My power is what my objective is laying up the track, but financing is beyond my powers. So financing is ultra virus and void ab initio. I will not be responsible. I don't want to give you any finance because that is not a contract. That is a void ab initio agreement. So that's why I don't want to give the finance. That is the argument of Ashbari. This is the argument of Richie. Then Richie said again, Judge uncle, yes, the objective of Ashbari is financing on laying the track only, but financing agreement was ratified by the whole body of the shareholders. Company money means shareholders money, है ना sir? Judge uncle, company money means shareholders money. After entering into agreement with me, company conducted the AGM. In that AGM, all the shareholders ratified such financing. Even it is beyond the powers of the company. Members are agreeing, no, then will become the intra virus. Then company will be liable to give the money to me. That is the argument of Richie. First, Richie argues that so company agrees to give the money, no, it is not giving, company made a breach. Then I was asking company, but company said that, Judge uncle, that is ultra virus, that's why I don't want to give the money. Then Richie said that even that is ultra virus, since it is agreed by the whole body of the shareholders, so when members are agreeing to give the money, then what is your problem? That is the argument of the Richie. But Judge uncle said that, Amma Richie, members has no authority to ratify ultra virus agreement, even members are ratifying, that is not a valid ratification. Void ab initio agreement cannot be ratified by even by whole body of the shareholders, because that is void ab initio, null transaction. For example, beta, one fine day I killed someone, sir. I killed my friend, not friend, my enemy, beta. So I don't like my neighbor, I killed him, beta. So I came to my home along with knife, my blood is bleeding, beta. So with knife I came to my home, sir. Then my father, my mother, my brother, my sister, my wife, my children, everyone is congratulating me for killing that my enemy, beta. In my family everyone is agreeing to kill the person. When all the members in my family is agreeing, whether it will become legal, beta, killing someone? No. Intlo andaru oppukunna kaani illegale. In the same way, void ab initio agreement cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Even whole body of the shareholders are ratifying, still that is invalid ratification. The court held that amma Richie, that is not good. Even members are ratifying the agreement, company cannot get that right, company cannot that right. So it was held that ultra virus agreement cannot be ratified by even by whole body of the shareholders, and such ratification is void ab initio. Clear na? Who won the case? Ashbury. Who lose the case? Who's losing the case, beta? Richie went to her home, Ashbury went to his company. Kata kanchiki manamentiki, beta. Simple, beta. Ultra virus agreement cannot be ratified. For example, beta, I'll give one other example, beta. I gave one knife example. Ma pakkinto jumpesin nenu intlo andaru okay ani chepparu. Legal అయిపోతుందా? Illegal అది, ఎందుకంటే the ultra virus beyond the power of me. I should not kill someone as per law. For example, beta, I teach land auditing. For example, in my class 100 students are there. For example, all the 100 students are my fans. For example, beta, one fan the system in Srinath sir, come on, you teach. Srinath sir, come and teach C++ Java. I don't know, yaar. Then students are saying, Srinath sir, whatever you teach, we will listen. But teach C++, Java and some other software. Even my students are ready to listen. Can I able to teach better C++, Java? No, because I have no such power. అందరూ ఒప్పుకున్నా కానీ నేను చెప్పకూడదు, ఎందుకంటే నాకు తెలియదు కనుక C++ Java. In the same way, the court held that ultra virus agreement cannot be ratified even by the whole body of the shareholders. Clear? Who won the case? Ashbury. Who lost the case? Richie. కథ కంచికి మనం ఇంటికి అని మనం అనుకున్నాం. Ashbury went to her home, Richie went to her home. Ashbury sleeping happily because he won the case, but Richie is not getting any sleep at all. Then Richie was started thinking aggressively, out of angry, why I am losing the case. Then Ashbury is getting the idea. So she want to file a case in the upper court. She lost the case in the lower court. No, again she filed a case better in the Ashbury. Judge uncle, I entered into agreement with Richie for financing. You said that is ultra virus because it is not within the power of the company. Judge uncle, the objective class of the Ashbury is mechanical engineering and general contracts. Judge uncle, read the objective class of the Ashbury: mechanical engineering and general contracts. Mechanical engineering and general contracts. Mechanical engineering means this one. Richie argues that financing comes under the word general contract. Then judge uncle said, Richie, क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप, है ना बेटा? General contracts means contracts relating to laying of the track, like supplying of the labor, supplying of the wagon, supplying of the tables, but not the financing. Financing is like a software. Their business is like a hardware. What is this, Richie? है ना बेटा? The court held that general contracts means contracts relating to laying of the track, but not the finance. Again, who won the case, sir? Ashbury. Again, who lost the case, sir? Richie. है ना बेटा? So कथा कंचिकी మనం ఇంటికి. So clear ना बेटा? Next, Once again, I am explain the case better briefly. So Richie entered into agreement with two agreements with the Ashbury company. So one is financing, other one is laying of the track. Laying of the track is intra-virus, financing is ultra-virus. Subsequently, company refused to give the money to Richie. Richie filed a case on the Ashbury. Richie argues that company made the breach. Company argues that there is ultra-virus and void ab initio. Richie argues that it was ratified by whole body of the shareholders. Court held that it cannot be ratified by whole body of the shareholders. Subsequently, again Richie argues that it comes under the word like general contracts. The court held that general contracts means contracts relating to laying of the track but not the financing. Again, who won the case, sir? Ashbury only. Next heading. So we have seen the meaning of the purpose of the objective clause and explanation of the objective clause, and we have seen the doctrine of ultra-virus also. Next, effects of the ultra-virus. Next ఏంటన్నా effects of the ultra-virus. Number 1, important sir, this question also important from exam point of view. He is asking for 2-3 marks. So ultra-virus activities are void ab initio. Ultra-virus activities are void ab initio. Ultra-virus activities cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders, cannot be ratified. For ultra-virus agreements, who is liable, sir? Company is not liable. Then who will be liable? The person entering into agreement on behalf of the company is liable by lifting the corporate wheel. If they are entering into any ultra-virus agreement, directors are personally liable because company is not liable. Next, members has the right to sue the directors of the company if directors are entering into any ultra-virus, because I gave the money to company to purchase and sell the cloth, but instead of purchasing and selling of the cloth, what they are doing, they are manufacturing the tube lights. That is beyond the power, yes. So next, if directors are proposing to enter any ultra-virus activity, so directors planning to do some ultra-virus activity with my money. I am a shareholder of the company. I am a shareholder of the Infosys. Directors planning to purchase the lorry. Why Infosys need the lorry here? They don't have any stock also. So they are proposing to enter into contract to purchase the lorry with my money. Who? Directors of the Infosys. I can go to court of law. I can obtain the injunction. Injunction means stay order for stop the transaction. Members has the right to obtain the injunction from court of law. That is stay order. Injunction means stay order from court of law if directors are proposing to enter into any ultra-virus agreement. Last point. This point is asking 2-3 times in the exam. But for 1 mark in the bits he is asking beta. 6th point beta. What is 6th point? Effects of ultra-virus. First one, void ab initio. Number 2, cannot be ratified. Number 3, directors are personally liable. Members can sue directors if they are entering into ultra-virus. If directors are proposing to enter into ultra-virus, members can go to court of law to obtain injunction. And last one is the 6th one is whether company has the right to secure ultra-virus acquired property. Listen carefully. Whether company has the right to secure ultra-virus acquired property. This question was asked 2-3 times in the exam for 1 mark and 2 marks. But my father said to me, Srinath, go to office every day and make the money, give it to me. Don't purchase anything on behalf of the family. If family requires any vehicle, any groceries, I'll purchase. Who said? My father said. So what is my duty in the family, being a director of the company? So my father is the ultimate authority in the family. My father is the ultimate authority for my home. For example, he said to me, you have to go to office, you have to make the money, and I have to give the money to my father only. My father will purchase whatever my family requires. That may be gold, that may be vehicle, that may be day-to-day things also. My mother loved the necklace a lot. She liked the necklace, sir. In fact, she loved the necklace. For last 3 years, she was asking my father, but my father is not buying the necklace to my mother. For example, today is the first of the month, I am getting 1 lakh rupees as my salary, for example beta, है ना. So सीधा I went to Kalyan Jewelry, I purchased necklace for my mother. Then I came to home, I was presenting that necklace to my mother. My mother felt very happy, but my father feeling very angry because I have no authority to purchase such necklace. That is ultra vires acquired property, because I have no power to purchase the things on behalf of the family. Only my father is authorized. I am buying, that is ultra vires acquired property. But what my father will do, first he will scold me, that is for sure, है ना. Then what he will do beta, whether he will throw the necklace on the main road or whether he will secure the necklace, he will secure the necklace, because money belongs to family. First he will scold me, then he will preserve the necklace, then he will sell the necklace, he will make it as a cash, है ना बेटा, because money belongs to family. In the same way company has the right to secure ultra vires acquired property because money belongs to shareholders of the company. For example, previous example beta, there was a company called Infosys. Infosys objective is development of software. However, Infosys directors purchased the lorry. What they are purchasing beta? 1 second. Infosys directors are purchasing the lorry, है ना बेटा. That is beyond the powers of the company. What the company will do बेटा, that is ultra vires acquired property for sure, है ना बेटा. They will not throw the lorry on the main road just like that, है ना बेटा. First of all, company will secure the lorry, company will punish the directors, है ना बेटा. Subsequently, company will sell the lorry, they will make it as a cash. So what is the moral of the story? Company has the right to secure ultra vires acquired property. Company has the right to secure ultra vires acquired property because money belongs to shareholders of the company, है ना बेटा. Clear? These are the effects of ultra vires. Next, types of ultra vires. Next, types of ultra vires. Types of ultra vires. First one, ultra vires the company sector. Ultra vires the company sector, that is doing something in contrary to company sector. Doing something contrary to company sector. For example beta, section 123 of the Companies Act says that company should declare, company can declare a dividend only out of profits. Answer is no, it is only out of revenue profits but not out of the capital profits. What is capital profit beta? Company selling the land, company selling the building, getting the profit, that is capital profit. What is revenue profits? Company selling the day-to-day activities. For example, it is a software company beta, developing software, selling software, making the profit, that is revenue profit. Company selling the land, building, bangla, making the profit, that is capital profit. No beta, I should not celebrate my birthday by selling the building. No beta, I have to go to office, I have to make the money, with that money I have to celebrate birthday. In the same way, the company has to declare dividend only out of revenue profits. If the company is declaring dividend out of the capital profits, है ना बेटा, that is ultra vires the Companies Act. It cannot be ratified, cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Second type of ultra vires the MOA. Ultra vires the MOA, that is doing something contrary to objective class of MOA. Example, Ashbury Railway Company. Example, Ashbury Railway and Carriage Company Limited, है ना बेटा. That is as per the objective class of the company, they have to only enter into contract related to laying of the track. But what they are doing बेटा, financing, है ना बेटा. And even ultra vires objective class cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Third one, ultra vires the AOA, however intra vires the MOA. Ultra vires the AOA, intra vires the MOA, है ना बेटा. That is simply ultra vires directors. For example, as per the articles of association of the company, directors of the company can borrow up to 1 lakh rupees on behalf of the company. Directors should not borrow beyond 1 lakh rupees on behalf of the company. Directors can borrow up to only 1 lakh without asking members. If directors want to borrow on behalf of the company beyond 1 lakh, they must get the consent of the shareholders. Without getting the consent of the shareholders, directors should not borrow beyond 1 lakh rupees. For example, beta, and the creditor of the company has to give me 15 lakhs. Company has to give me 15 lakhs. Chintu was the director of the company. So I am the creditor. For last 3 months I am asking the money from the company, but company is not at all responding better. Then today I went to company head office, corporate office, along with a rod in my hand, iron rod in my hand. Then I said to director, for last 3 months I am asking the money, but you guys are not giving the money. Today I want my 15 lakhs rupees. Otherwise I will spoil total furniture, including your face. Chintu डर गया है ना बेटा. Then Chintu went to Sweetie. Sweetie లేకపోతే Chintu went to Sweetie. She is a lender. She is giving the loans बेटा. Chintu went to Sweetie है ना बेटा. From Sweetie he is borrowing 15 lakhs. How much is authorized? Only 1 lakh. But how much is borrowing from the Sweetie? 15 lakhs. Why? To pay the liabilities of the company itself. It is ultra as a director, but the money was borrowed for the purpose of company only, for repayment of loans of the company only. Intraver as the MOA, it can be ratified by the whole body of the shareholders may agree. Okay director, no problem, even you're borrowing 15 lakhs rupees, no, company will repay later. Ultra whereas the AOA, intra whereas the MOA can be ratified by the shareholders of the company. लिखो बेटा from the beginning. First step, I hope you have written the purpose of the objective class. Next, explanation of the objective class. Purpose also read beta. Purpose or interpretation of the section or why the section is A. The objective of lawmakers is to define the powers of the company. Objective of the lawmakers is to define the powers of the company. Second point, objective clause defines what company can do, what company cannot do. What company can do, what company cannot do. Objective clause define, next C point, objective clause defines the scope of the company. It defines the scope of the company. है ना बेटा. Next, explanation. First point, you can write like chart wise also beta, divided into 3 parts. First arrow, see I have divided into 3 arrows, no beta. Arrow 1, arrow 2, arrow 3. First arrow, it contains the objectives to be achieved by company. It contains the objectives to be achieved by company. It contains the objectives to be achieved by company upon its incorporation. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company to achieve the objectives specified. It contains the powers which can be exercised by the company to achieve the objectives specified. Next, Second arrow, it informs to shareholders and creditors. It informs to shareholders and creditors how their money will be utilized. How their money will be utilized. B, the risk they are taking by investing in the company. The risk they are taking by investing in the company. So this is what objective clause informs to shareholders and creditors. Next, third arrow, objective clause informs to outsiders. Objective clause informs to outsiders who proposes to enter into contract with the company. Who proposes to enter into contract with the company, comma, whether proposed contract is intra-virus, bracket lo valid, within the powers. Whether proposed contract is intra-virus, within the brackets, valid and within the power, or ultra-virus, whether proposed contract is intra-virus or ultra-virus, within the bracket, void and beyond the powers of the company. Next point beta, next, objective clause developed a doctrine called, objective clause developed a doctrine called doctrine of ultra-virus. Doctrine of ultra-virus in the year 1855. In the year 1855. But what is my doctrine? Theory. Ultra, beyond, virus, power. VIRES, virus spelling. Next point. Before the year 1855, before the year 1855, the companies were in the companies are there in the form of enlarged partnership forms. Before the year 1855, the companies are there in the form of enlarged partnership forms where the liability of the partners is unlimited. Where the liability of the members, sorry, company only but looks like a partnership firm. Before the year 1855, the companies were in the form of enlarged partnership firm where the liability of the members is unlimited and creditors felt secure, and creditors felt secure because creditors felt secure because even company is unable to repay, even company is unable to repay, members will repay because the liability is unlimited. Even company is unable to repay, members will repay because the liability is unlimited before the year 1855. Next point. However, for the first time, however, in the year 1855, however, in the year 1855, for the first time, the concept of limited liability is introduced. However, in the year 1855, the concept of limited liability is introduced and creditors felt unsecure. Creditors felt unsecure because if company fails to repay, members will not repay. Because if companies fails to repay, members will not repay because the liability is limited to the extent of, because the liability is limited to the extent of guarantee amount or unpaid amount on the face value. Limited to the extent of guarantee amount or unpaid amount on the face value of the share. This is the history beyond the objective clause beta. History. Sir, why you are telling the history? Whether he will ask in the exam, he will not ask you in the exam, but you should know because you are not an accountant, you are a chartered accountant. Difference should be there, no? You are expert, no? You should know the logics also. Next heading. Doctrine of ultravirus. Heading: Doctrine of ultravirus. Doctrine is equal to theorem. Next, A. Doctrine is equal to theorem. Ultra is equal to beyond. Virus is equal to power. Next, leave one line. Case law name. Sir, remember the case law name as it is. Don't create case laws in the exam. Remember the case law name. Heading: Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited. Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited versus Ritchie. लिखो बेटा. Once upon a time, there is a company called Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited in Belgium. There was a company called Ashbury Railway Carriage and Iron Company Limited in Belgium. Next, Ashbury Company. Don't write Ashbury Company in the exam, beta. Write total name in the exam. Next, company entered into agreement with Ritchie. Company entered into two agreements with Ritchie. Company entered two agreements with Ritchie. Subpoint A. Next line. Financing hyphen which is ultravirus the objective class of company. Financing hyphen which is ultravirus the objective class of MOA of the company. B. Laying of the track hyphen which is intravirus the objective class of MOA of the company. Next point. Subsequently, company refused to finance. Financing activity was ratified by whole body of the shareholders. Next, later company refused to finance the Ritchie. Next point. Ritchie sued the company for breach of contract. Leave one line. Argument of Ritchie. Sir, if you are unable to write along with me now, I don't know whether you are able to write it or not because I cannot see your hand now. So if you are unable to write along with me, please pause it and write it. Again unpause, listen and write. Next heading. Argument of Ritchie. Underline that. Ritchie argues that company agrees to give the finance. And subsequently refuses. So company made the breach of contract. Next, leave one line. Argument of Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited. Argument of company. Underline that. Company argues that financing is ultravirus the objective class of company. And it is void ab initio. Next, leave one line. Further argument of Ritchie. Underline that. Ritchie further argues that financing agreement was ratified by whole body of the shareholders. financing agreement was ratified by whole body of the shareholders, so it becomes intra-virus and company is liable. It becomes intra-virus and company is liable. Next, decision. It was held that ultra-virus agreement cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Ultra-virus agreement cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Ultra-virus agreement cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Next. Further appeal made, next subheading, further appeal made by the Ritchie for upper court. Subheading, further appeal made by Ritchie to the upper court. Upper court means higher court, beta. High court to Supreme Court to, like that. High court is lower court to Supreme Court is upper court. Next, Ritchie further argues that financing comes under general contracts. Financing comes under general contracts. Next, decision. Second decision by upper court. It was held that general contracts means contracts relating to laying of the track. General contracts means contracts relating to laying of the track, like supplying of the wagon, iron, labor, but not financing. General contracts means contracts related to laying of the track, like supplying of the wagon, labor, iron, but not financing. Next, last point. It was held that Ashbury need not finance Ritchie. Next, leave one line. Effects of ultra-virus. Keep 5 stars. Question is being asked in the exam. Effects of ultra-virus. Number 1. Ultra-virus agreements are void ab initio. Ultra-virus agreements are void ab initio. Second one, ultra-virus agreements cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Ultra-virus agreements cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Third point, directors are personally liable for ultra-virus activities. Directors are personally liable for ultra-virus activities. Next, fourth one, members can sue the directors for ultra-virus activities. Members can sue the directors for ultra-virus activities as there is a breach of their duty. By directors. Next, fifth one, member has the right to obtain injunction from court of law. Member has the right to obtain injunction from court of law if directors proposing to enter into ultra-virus activities. Member has the right to obtain injunction from court of law. Injunction means stay order. If directors proposes to enter into ultra-virus activities. Sir, when I am dictating, you should write, sir. If writing, then only it will be benefited. Otherwise, you will not get any benefit. Always land auditing, you should write along with the faculty. Sixth one, keep a star mark for the sixth point again, because this sixth point is asking in the exam for 1 to 2 marks. Company has the right to secure ultra-virus acquired property. Company has the right to secure ultra-virus acquired property because money belongs to shareholders of the company. Company has the right to secure ultra-virus acquired property because money belongs to shareholders of the company. Next heading, types of ultra-virus. Next heading, types of ultra vires. The first one is ultra vires the Companies Act. Ultra vires the Companies Act, underline that. It means doing an activity in contrary to Companies Act. Doing an activity contrary to Companies Act, comma, it cannot be ratified. It cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. It cannot be ratified even by whole body of the shareholders. Next one, ultra vires the MOA. Example answer first one. Ultra vires the Companies Act cannot be ratified by even by whole body of the shareholders. Example, payment of dividend out of the capital profits. Payment of dividend out of capital profits is contrary to section 123 of the Companies Act and cannot be ratified. Cannot be ratified. Leave one line. Next one, ultra vires the MOA. It means doing an activity in contrary to objective clause of MOA. Contrary to objective clause of MOA. Example, declaration of example, Ashbury Railway Carriage Iron Company Limited versus Ritchie. Last one, ultra vires the AOA. Ultra vires the AOA, underline that. Ultra vires the AOA, that is doing an activity contrary to AOA, that is doing an activity contrary to AOA, comma, it can be ratified by the shareholders if it is intra vires the MOA. If it is intra vires the MOA. Clear na? So this is all about the objective clause of memorandum of association of the company. Next clause will be liability clause. Take a fresh page, everyone. Next heading, liability clause. Section 4(1)(d). Beta, what this clause explains? Beta, what liability clause explains? First of all, let us try to understand the purpose of the section, logic behind the section, or interpretation of the section, or why the section is drafted in the Companies Act. The main purpose of this section, the main intention of lawmakers, the intention of lawmakers is to define nature of liability of the members of the company. Nature of liability of members of the company. Whether members' liability is limited or unlimited, or limited by guarantee or limited by shares, is defined by this clause. That's why this clause is drafted. Whether members' liability is limited or unlimited. If it is limited, whether it is limited by shares or limited by guarantee, is explained by this clause. So members will not be liable. Members will not be liable beyond the amount specified as per liability clause. That's why this clause is specified, whether it is limited by shares or limited by guarantee. or unlimited company. So to explain this clause is prepared beta, that is the purpose of this clause. Next heading, explanation of the clause. Explanation, it defines, first point, it defines the nature of liability of members of the company. It defines whether company is limited company or unlimited company. Beta, if it is a company limited by shares, what is the liability of the shareholder beta? We have discussed so many times previously. We have discussed in the first chapter, we have discussed in the second chapter, we discussed in third time. Limited by shares, the face value of the share is 10 rupees, issue value of the share also 10 rupees, paid up value of the share is 7 rupees. How much we have to pay? Maximum 3 rupees. That is unpaid amount on the face value. If it is a company limited by shares, the liability of each shareholder will be maximum to the extent of how much beta? Unpaid amount on the face value. Maximum to the extent unpaid amount on the face value, including premium if any. It may be there, it may not be there. Here in our example, issue value also 10 rupees only, there was no premium. Next, if it is a company limited by guarantee, the liability of each member will be maximum to the extent of the how much beta? Guarantee amount specified in the memorandum of association of the company. We have discussed already. Beta. So company is there, creator is there, and member is there. Beta. Member said to creators give the money to company will repay. If company is unable to repay, I will repay. How much? 500. So member liability is maximum 500. When this liability will come to member if company is unable to repay. We have discussed in the first chapter and also second chapter also in depth types of companies and features of the company, section 9. Beta, what is the main purpose of this clause beta? To define the nature of liability, amount of liability of the member, limited by shares or limited by guarantee. So to define the amount of liability, this clause is there beta. Beta, in case of unlimited company, what is the liability of the member? Unlimited. When there is no limit on the liability, what is the need of this clause? Beta. So this clause is optional in case of unlimited company, because there is no limit on the liability. Beta. This clause is optional in unlimited company, but in a real life I have never seen any unlimited company. Just it is theoretical concept. That type of companies will not exist in the real life. Look beta. Liability clause 4(1)(d). First heading, purpose, logic or interpretation, or why the section is drafted. Look, first point, the intention of the lawmakers is to define nature of liability of members of the company. Next, members will not, second point in the purpose of the section, members will not be liable beyond the amount specified in the liability clause. Next, explanation of provision. Look a bit. It defines the nature of liability of the members of the company. Number 2, it defines whether company is limited company or unlimited company. Whether company is limited, bracket low, within the bracket limited by shares or limited by guarantee. whether company is a limited company within the brackets limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or unlimited company. It defines whether company is limited company or unlimited company. Third point, if it is a company limited by shares, if it is a company limited by shares, comma, the liability of each shareholder will be maximum to the extent of unpaid amount on the face value of the share. Maximum to the extent of unpaid amount on the face value of the share, including premium if any. Next point, if it is a company limited by guarantee, the liability of each member will be maximum to the extent of guarantee amount specified in the MOA of the company. Last point, this clause is optional in case of unlimited company. Next heading beta, take a fresh page. Capital clause. Section 4 subsection 1 A B C D E. Clause E. First, purpose of the section. Purpose of the section, or logic behind the section, or interpretation of the section, or why the section is drafted. What is the intention of lawmakers? Why the section is drafted? Let us try to understand. The main intention of capital clause is to define the authorized capital. Is to define the authorized capital of the company. It defines the types of shares to be issued by company. Types of shares to be issued by company. Company elanti shares issue cheyali, whether it must be preference shares or equity shares or both, and how many shares a company can issue is defined by this clause. But company cannot issue the shares beyond this clause, so company should not issue the shares beyond the limit specified, in this clause. So the main purpose of the clause is to define the which kind of shares to be issued, how many shares to be issued. That's why this clause is prepared. Company should not issue the shares beyond this clause. If it is issuing now, the issue will be word ab initio. Next, explanation of the provision. Next, explanation of provision. Beta, this capital clause, also known as capital clause, is also known as registered capital. It is also known as the registered capital. It is also known as the authorized capital. It is also known as the authorized capital. It is also known as the registered capital. It is also known as the authorized capital. It is also known as the nominal capital. 4 names are there, beta. Nominal capital, authorized capital, registered capital, and capital clause. Why? For example, beta, why it is called as registered capital? Beta, ROC will maintain register, beta. The name of the register to be maintained by ROC is Register of Companies. In this register, the first column is the SIN of the company. SIN means corporate identification number. Next, name of the company, address of the company, objective of the company, liability of the company, capital of the company. Here I wrote that the company is authorized to issue 1 lakh equity shares and 1 lakh equity shares and 50,000 preference shares. This is the capital registered with the register of companies. That's why it is called as registered capital. So it is also called as authorized capital. This is the capital authorized to be issued by company. Objective clause authorizing the company. Babu, company, you can issue this kind of the shares and these many shares only. So it is the capital authorized by the MOA of the company. MOA is authorizing the company to issue only 1 lakh equity shares, only 50,000 preference shares. That's why it is called the authorized capital, because MOA is authorizing the company only to issue 1 lakh 50 shares, out of that 1 lakh equity, 50 preference. That's why it is called as authorized capital. So it is also called as nominal capital. Why? Because this clause defines a nominal amount which a company can raise. This clause defines a nominal amount which a company can raise from the general public for the life of the company. So from the public, how much money you can get by issuing the shares? Nominal money. That's what is called as the nominal capital, beta. So it defines the maximum amount which a company can raise, from general public by issue of the shares, for the life of the company, So from the birth till the death, how many shares a company can issue is defined by this clause. So in our example, only 1 lakh equity shares, only 50k preference shares. For example, sir, you will get doubt, sir, 1 lakh equity shares also issued, 1 lakh preference shares also issued, still the company feeling hungry, still the company need money, then how, sir? Company has to increase the capital. 1 lakh 50 to 4 lakh or 3 lakh, then they can go for the further issue of the shares. Then how to increase the capital, we'll see in the subsequent classes, better. In the next class we will see. Next, shares includes both equity shares and also preference shares. That's it. This clause is over. Likho beta. Capital clause section 4(1)(e). Everyone should write, sir. Yellow shirt. You should write, okay? Next, purpose of the section, logic of the section. Look beta. It defines the authorized capital of the company. ఈ సెక్షన్ ఎందుకు ఉంది కంపెనీస్ యాక్ట్లో అంటే దీనికోసం ఉంది. ఇట్ డిఫైన్స్ ద టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ షేర్స్ టు బి ఇష్యూడ్ బై కంపెనీ. Next, company should not issue the shares beyond the limit. Company should not issue the shares beyond the limit specified in this clause. Next, leave one line. So you have seen why the section is. Then let us see the section. Heading: explanation of the provision. Capital clause is also known as registered capital, authorized capital, nominal capital. So I have explained why these names are given also. Next point, this defines the maximum amount which a company can raise from general public. It defines maximum amount which a company can raise from general public by issue of the shares for the life of the company. by issue of the shares for the life of the company. Last point, shares includes both equity shares and also preference shares. Shares includes both equity shares and also the preference shares. Next clause beta, association clause or subscription clause. Association or subscription clause, section 13 subsection 4 clause F. Next, association or subscription clause. Beta, who is the meaning of subscriber? Beta, buyer, general meaning. Section 13 subsection 4 clause F. So first of all, what is the purpose of the section? Beta, let us try to understand. Purpose of the section or logic behind the section or interpretation of the section. Interpretation is logic only, beta. Why section is drafted in the Companies Act? Let us understand first this thing, then let us enter into the section, beta. What is the purpose of subscription clause? Beta, beta, section 3 of the Companies Act says that for the formation of the public company, 7 subscribers should be there. For the formation of private company, 2 subscribers should be there. For the formation of OPC, 1 subscriber and 1 nominee should be there. It defines the names of these subscribers. It defines the association by these subscribers. It defines the names of these subscribers. It contains the signatures of these subscribers. That's why this clause is specified, beta. Simply, it defines the names and signatures of the promoters of the company. That's why this clause is there. Likho beta. It defines the names of subscribers. It defines the association by subscribers. For the incorporation of public company, we require 7 subscribers. Private company, we require 2 subscribers. For the formation of OPC, we require 1 subscriber and 1 nominee. Their names will be specified in this clause. That's why this clause is there. Next, explanation of the provision. Explanation of a provision. So same thing, beta. What it contains, beta? It contains the names of the subscribers. It contains the signatures of the subscribers. First point. It contains a declaration. It contains the declaration. It contains the declaration by association of subscribers. It contains declaration by association of subscribers. Yes, we 7 guys are ready to form the company. They enter into agreement. That agreement is known as the association clause. It contains declaration of association by subscribers to the MOA. Declaration of association by subscribers to memorandum of association. So it contains the signatures of subscribers. Opposite to subscriber signature, we have to specify name of the subscriber, address of the subscriber, occupation of the subscriber, and number of shares subscribed. We have to specify in this clause. So it contains the declaration by subscribers. Yes, we want to form the company, and it contains signatures also. But 7 signatures for the public company. Opposite to subscriber signature, we have to specify name, address, occupation, and how many shares he has subscribed. And each subscriber should pay for the shares subscribed. Promoters should pay the shares they have subscribed. Yada Raja, Tada Praja. If promoter is not paying the money, no matter how others will pay, other shareholders will pay. If promoters don't like to pay the money for the shares, no, other shareholders will not pay the money. That's why each subscriber should pay for the shares they are subscribed. And after formation of the company, he cannot repeat the contract also. After formation, subscriber cannot say that I don't want shares. He cannot say like that as per this clause. Subscribers, after incorporation of the company, subscriber cannot repudiate the contract. Repudiate means cancel. He cannot repudiate the contract of allotment of the shares to him. Beta, generally students will get it out. Beta, who is a subscriber, who is a member? Beta, before formation of the company, certificate of incorporation, he is called as subscriber. After formation, he is called as the member. After issue of the share certificate, he is called as shareholder. So before formation, he is called as subscriber. After formation, he is called as member. After issue of the share certificate, he is called as shareholder. Difference. So these subscribers will become the members of the company after incorporation of the company. After incorporation, subscribers is deemed to be member of the company. So this is the last class of MOA. So first of all, right sir, I will dictate once again. Heading: association or subscription clause. Subscription means purchase, sir. Exact meaning, literal meaning of the subscription. Purpose of the section. First point, it defines the names of the subscribers to MOA. Second point, it defines the association by subscribers to incorporate the company. Association by subscribers to incorporate the company. Next, for incorporation of public company, there must be association of 3 subscribers. Public company, there must be association of 2 subscribers. OPC, there must be association of 1 subscriber. Next, leave one line. Explanation of the provision. First point, it contains the declaration by association. It contains a declaration of association. Declaration of association by subscribers to MOA. It contains the signatures of the subscribers to MOA. Next, third point, opposite to subscriber's signature, they have to specify name of the subscriber, address of the subscriber, occupation of the subscriber, and number of shares subscribed. Next, fourth point, each subscriber must subscribe at least 1 share. Next point, each subscriber must pay for the shares they are subscribed. Every subscriber must pay for the shares they are subscribed. Next, after incorporation of the company, subscriber cannot repudiate the contract of allotment of shares. After incorporation, subscriber cannot repudiate the contract of allotment of shares. Last point. After incorporation, subscribers are deemed to be members of the company. After incorporation, subscribers are deemed to be members of the company. So this is all about the clauses of the MOA, sir. So we have done with introduction to MOA and also name clause, situation, objective, liability, capital and association clause. 6 clauses we have defined. So in the next class we will be seeing the how to alter the name clause, situation clause, objective clause, है ना बेटा. So very important, don't miss the class. Have a great time, enjoy the day, good luck.